Hey guys, how you doing today? A bit of a goofy topic. We're gonna, maybe I'll rub some feathers the wrong way on this one. But out there's a lot of people that want to play business owner. They want to play their 1099. I'm a business owner, 1099, woo. Or I've got my ABN in Australia. I'm a business owner. All playing that stuff. But as soon as the mention of tax occurs, everyone buries their head in the sand and they start looking away and say, oh, it's all too much for me. Guys, this is a little bit of a rough awakening, but if you want to play business owner, you got to know how tax works. And in this video, I'm not going to talk about, how to break down and pay tax or anything like that. Done it in other videos. Go on my channel, click the tax section for Australians. Read through how tax works. Like, watch the videos. I break it all down, the basics of tax. But guys, it's fucking embarrassing. It's fucking embarrassing that you want to play business owner and turn around and be like, I don't know how tax works. I don't want to know how tax works. Oh, it shouldn't apply to me. Well, guess what? It does. Tax is just as important as your earnings. Like, guys, if you're earning money, you're paying tax. And you got to learn how tax works and your deductions work, or you'll fail. Like, I'm doing this because there's been a couple of times I've jumped on panels over in America talking about Doordash and gig work and the gig economy. And each time I brought up tax or someone's mentioned tax, everyone just backs off, throw their hands in the air. And they're like, oh, I don't know much about tax. Oh, I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know anything about this. Oh, no, tax is too much. But it is so important, guys. Tax is one of the most critical things when it comes down to being successful as your own business owner, as a contractor, or running your own ship as a little side hustle. You need to understand this stuff. Like, what's some of the fucking stupid shit I've seen recently? I've seen drivers out there buying $20 meals for lunch and for dinner, be like, I'm going to write this off on tax. No, dude, you can't write your lunch and your dinner off on tax when you're out there delivery driving. You've just wasted your money. Trying to brag and boast, being like, oh, I've got a mechanic and he takes off $50 when I pay him cash for my services. No, that doesn't work out to your benefit at all. You're still paying $350, $400 in cash, but you don't have a receipt where you could be writing off like a third of that on your tax deductions. What the fuck? You're losing $100 right there and then because you're stupid. And probably the biggest misconception I see out there is people thinking in their heads, oh, it's tax deductible, therefore it's free. I get the money back. No, you don't get the money back. You just don't pay tax on that income bit. So if you think of tax, say you got a 30% bracket or something like that, around 30%. I'm just going to play a weird number there. Okay, it could be 32%, it could be 22%, it could be 28%. Whatever it is, let's just say 30%. Say if you wanted to buy something for $100, say it's a fancy car charger for $100. Okay, if it wasn't tax deductible, you weren't doing gig work, you weren't doing anything, you could write it off on business, you'd have to earn $150, apply your 30% tax bracket, and then that $150 after tax would leave you with about $100 to buy that charger. Whereas if it's tax deductible, you would earn $100, buy that charger, and then you wouldn't be paying that 30% tax there. That's how tax deductions work, guys. It's not free stuff. It's not free money coming back in or anything like that. It's an offset. It's a tax deduction, not paying tax on your income, which is why I find it so frustrating a lot of the time where people just don't want to deal with tax. They don't want to know about it. They don't want to learn about it. They don't want to, confront it head on and be like, okay, this is my situation. This is a tax I'm potentially up for. These are my deductions. They don't want to deal with it. And then what happens is they get around to tax time, they're like, oh, this huge tax bill, this is all bullshit. And they fail, and they're scrambling to make thousands of dollars potentially to try and get on top of the tax. If you want to play business owner, you want to be 1099, you want to have an ABN, be a business owner with an ABN doing gig work, guess what? You need to know tax. So go to the IRS website in America, go across to the ATO's website in Australia, spend an afternoon, spend a day reading through how tax works. Sit on Google, Googling around, figuring it all out. Okay, guys, you can learn it. Being an accountant is not that hard. It's pretty easy this day and age. And if you can do the self-accounting as much as you can yourself, get all your stuff together, understand what you can, what you can't do, if you come across to tax time and you do use an accountant, you can pass everything across to them and they can start working it all through and doing your deductions for you. Otherwise, if you do it yourself, you do it yourself. But an accountant cannot deduct stuff that they do not know about. And if you pass nothing across to them, they can't just pull stuff out of the air and be like, oh, I guess all this stuff here. No, learn tax so you learn what you can deduct and pass that across to them so they can do the deductions for you. Like, guys, it's fucking embarrassing seeing gig workers claiming they're independent, they're these great business runners, these great contractors, and they don't know fucking diddly squat about tax. They couldn't put fucking 1 and 2 together when it comes to a deduction. I know I'm fucking heated about it, dude, but I'm sick of it, man. Like, I'm sick of people coming in here stupid and then complaining that the world's falling down when tax comes through because they've failed to spend even an hour of their lives, even an hour of their lives, trying to work out how tax works. And they put through all these stupid things that just get knocked back. It's like, oh, that's not deductible. And they're crying poor. And then says, oh, gig work doesn't work. Well, gig work's not working at that point because you're doing stupid tax deductions, or you're trying to do stupid tax deductions that don't work, or you have no tax deductions because you have nothing to put forward because you don't know how it works. You know, we want gig work to be a respected industry, right? We all want that. I'm doing it. You're doing it if you're watching this. You want it to be a respected industry where it's like, okay, these guys are running a solid hustle, running a solid business, getting money, getting ahead. But then you come across as fucking idiots sometimes. And I know it's not everyone. I know there's some people watching this video right now. They're fucking switched on with tax. They know what's going on. They know what their books are like. They got their books recorded. They know exactly what they're up for. They're holding money aside for tax when it comes through. But then there's this percentage of people out there that are just fucking daft and dumb. And they're the ones that end up on all the forums saying, oh, I got fucked on tax. They're the ones ending up on the forums saying you make no money doing gig work because they went and fucking blew their money on stupid shit and didn't keep receipts. The lack of accountability for people doing gig work that claim to be business owners, running their own ship, you know, being an entrepreneur, the lack of accountability, bro, is staggering when it comes to your finances, okay? If you're being a 1099, if you're running, you know, an ABN over in Canada, New Zealand, whatever you guys run over there, if you have no accountability to your finances, how can you with any confidence at all say, I am a business owner and I run a great ship here and I'm doing really good, if you don't know what your numbers are doing, dude? So guys, if you're sitting there watching this and you're pissed off, you're like, fuck you, don't talk about tax to me like that, Chris, because you don't know anything about tax, you don't know how it works, you don't know your deductions, you don't know how to put your numbers together. Well, my challenge to you is to don't get fucking angry at me. Go spend some time reading websites from your government about tax, okay? Do some Googling. Go research tax. If you're from Australia, click on my channel, click on the tax videos section, have a read through. I break it down super simple for gig workers on how to do tax. But spend some time, read the ATO's website, read the IRS website, read the government website in your country on how tax works, okay? Because you should have a good idea, otherwise you will fail. You'll fail miserably. You're going to fuck up, you're going to do some bad numbers, and you're going to wreck yourself. And then you'll be one of the people complaining, saying you never make money as a gig worker. Well, you know what? It is very difficult to go backwards in gig work if you know how to do tax. Most of gig work, guys, is actually a tax game, figuring out how to balance your deductions, because that's what makes you the most money. But if you don't want to do your own research, you don't want to learn about it all, probably the best advice I could give is to go talk to an accountant. Go book in a session and be like, dude, I do delivery work. I'm running as an independent contractor. Can you give me a list, man, for the next financial year going through of things I should try to keep receipts for, potential deductions I could do. That way I can have everything ready for you to pass across. And they'll give you a big checklist and be like, yep, this, and this. Okay, get this together for us. And that way across the year, it's still your responsibility, not the accountant's responsibility, but your responsibility to then go and keep records of all them transactions, keep records of all them receipts. Okay, guys? Like for myself, tomorrow I'm booking my car in for a service. There's 2 weeks to the end of the financial year. I'm getting my service in tomorrow, 2 weeks before financial year, so I can write it off on tax. I want my deductions for that service to offset my earnings for the year on delivery work. Could I do my service a day after tax? Yeah, sure, but I can't claim that deduction until the next financial year when I do tax. So I want to get that offset done now before financial year. I know my numbers, I know how it works, I know how to run everything through, but I know a lot of delivery drivers don't. And they're the ones getting themselves in a lot of trouble and complaining the most and making the most noise about this job because they don't understand how their numbers work. Being realistic, guys, if you know how your numbers work, when you start driving around on gig work, you write off thousands of dollars in taxable earnings on stuff you just normally would have paid for and not had deductions for in the past, just by starting gig driving, if you know how your numbers work and you know how tax works. But if you don't, you just go out there and you fuck it all up and you don't withhold any money for tax, you get caught out at the end of the financial year and you're just like, oh, there's all so much money and I don't know how to get rid of it. Well, guys, learn tax. That's my challenge. My challenge, my positive outcome from this video, guys. Go read some websites from your government on how tax works in your country. Jesus fucking Christ, okay? You want to be a business owner? Every business owner knows how fucking tax works. You're a fucking idiot and your business fails if you don't. So don't cry different if you're doing gig delivery driving, you don't know how tax works, and you fuck up and fail as a gig delivery driver, okay? Every other business knows how it works, and those businesses outside of gig delivery driving who don't know how tax works, they will fuck up, fail, and crumble, okay? So, you're no different. That's the thing. So, guys, sorry if it's a little bit of a fucking, have a go at your video, but it's important. I'm trying to make a point here. Trying to make a point. Learn how tax works in your country. Apply tax. Be successful, for fuck's sake. All right, guys, that's all for today. I'll see you in the next one. Fucking peace out.